All right, so we're going to start off with 3.2.8, cooking. So it is asking us to write a program that helps a novice microwave chef decide how long to microwave a refrigerated bread roll. Interesting. So what we're going to do is, this program isn't going to be very good at all. It is going to randomly guess how many seconds to microwave. So it's going to generate a random number between 0 and 60 to represent the number of seconds the roll will be microwaved. Okay. And then based on that number, we're going to be printing out some sort of messages. So if the length of time, the number of seconds, is less than or equal to 20, perfect cooking time. If it's anything more than that, then we're going to say your roll it will catch on fire. Okay, so let's start out with just generating that number, right? That random number process. We really need to practice that more, which is why they continue to embed this random number concept into future exercises. So let's get started with that one. So first, we're going to generate that random number. And so if you remember the first step to generating a random number, we want to identify what is our min and max. So in this case, what is our minimum number of seconds that we can microwave the bread roll by? What's the minimum number of seconds that we were given? 0, yeah. So I'm going to create my minimum. I'm just going to store it into an integer. And I'll call it min. And there we go. All right, what is our max that we were given? 60. So I'm going to go ahead and say max is going to be 60. Okay, so now here's the part where you might forget the step. We need to generate, we need to figure out how many possible values we can generate on this range. Okay, and how do we figure that out? Does anyone remember how we figure out that how many value? Give you a moment to think about it, see if you remember. Hint, it does involve these two variables, which is why we did that first. So how do I figure out how many different values are on the range 0 through 60? And it's okay if you don't remember. That's why we're constantly going to be practicing this even as we move along. So we're going to take the max minus the min, but then we have to add something. Does anyone remember what we add? Yeah, we had 1. Perfect. So that's going to, in this case, it's going to calculate to 60 different values. Okay. And I could have just hard-coded that, but didn't want to. Actually, no, it's 61 values in this case. I didn't, well, not that I didn't want to, but I want it to generalize, because if I changed this number, I didn't want to go down here and then update this, right? So it's better to write it out this way in a general expression, because if min and max change, if I ever go back and change my program, I don't have to worry about updating my how many. Okay, so we're almost there. This is going to be the longest step, right? Generating this random number. All right, so now we're going to actually create the number. So let's say int, this is going to represent the number of seconds. Okay, so I know that if I call math.random, I'm going to get a double value back. I'm going to get a decimal point value. So I'm going to convert that to an integer by casting it. Okay. Oops. And then I also know that this is only going to give me 0.0 up to 0.999. So if I cast a decimal that starts with 0 point something, if I don't do anything to this math.random value, I'm always going to get 0. So that's why I had to calculate this right here, because this is going to be the factor that I multiply math.random by. So I'm going to multiply that by how many? And we usually do add the minimum, but since this is just 0, we could leave that out because we're really just adding 0, which isn't doing anything. I'll go ahead and leave it in because who knows, we might want to change min someday as we update our code. And so that should generate a random number between 0 and 60. Okay, so we've got that now, and it says that let's print out the number of seconds. Okay, because we want to, like, I guess, check ourselves. So let's just print out this variable seconds right here. So there we go. All right, now we're to the point where we are using the newfound knowledge of if statements. So let's refresh our memory what we need to do. So we need to check to see if the number is less than or equal to 20. So let's go ahead and go down here and let's write an if statement. And I'm gonna, so remember the Boolean expression is gonna go in between the parentheses. I'm gonna leave that blank for now, just open up my curly braces. And I'm gonna ask you, what Boolean expression do I need to put here to check to see if my cooking time is less than or equal to 20? What do I need to put inside these parentheses to check that? Remember, my cooking time is stored in this variable here, seconds. So how do I check to see if my cooking time is less than or equal to 20? How would I write that? Yes, thank you, Arby. So, and then I also got a message privately. Thank you. Both of you are absolutely correct. So you are going to go ahead and put seconds is less than or equal to, less than or equal to 20. And that's going to check to see if this statement is true. So if this is true, we want to go ahead and write a message that says perfect cooking time. So we're going to go ahead and put that statement in. So that's just a print statement with the text perfect cooking time. Oops. Perfect cooking time. Yay. Okay. There's one other scenario or condition that we have to check for, and we have to check to see if the cooking time is greater than 20. And in that case, we want to print out this very urgent message that your roll will catch on fire. And since this is 3.2, they want us to just continue using if conditionals. Some of you might be familiar with the else clause, but we'll be talking about that later as we move on to 3.3. So how would I write the condition that the cook time is greater than 20? How would I write that in Java code? Yes, perfect. So seconds is greater than, oops, is greater than 20. So basically it's going to check to see if this random number is greater than 20, and if it is, we want to print out that very urgent message. So we're going to go ahead and put a print statement that says your roll will catch fire. Oops. Okay. So now we can go ahead and run this program. And remember, we're generating a random number. So The number of seconds is going to be different, potentially different each time we run it. Okay, so we'll run it a few times to see if we can get values under 20, under or equal to 20, and values that are over 20, just to see both things print out. So let's run that. All right, so I got exactly 20, and if it's less than or equal to 20, I should see perfect cooking time, which I do. And 11 is under 20 as well, perfect cooking time. Let's see if we can get a number over 20. There we go, 54 is over 20, and we get this message, your roll will catch fire. Do not microwave bread for that long. I don't know if it'll catch fire, but it'll get really dry and stiff and not delicious at all. I don't know why you're microwaving bread anyway. That's kind of strange. Generally toast it in a toaster or something, or just eat it.